As evening falls over Oyo town, the brothers gather on their father's veranda. An air of tension mixed with resignation hangs around them. Their once occasional discussions about childlessness have turned frequent and fraught with pain. Chief Abimbola watches them with a composed yet concerned gaze. Chief Abimbola, stepping forward, greets his sons gently. His tone is filled with wisdom, urging them to listen. Expecting his usual soothing words, the brothers turn toward him. He says,
"Remember that patience is a virtue lost when life's burdens grow heavy."
Kola the eldest struggles with his frustration, feeling the weight of unfulfilled dreams. 10 years of prayers, doctors, and attempts with his wife Bisi have yielded nothing.
How much longer can we endure this weight? He asks, his voice edged with desperation.
Understand, my son, the path to parenthood is not straightforward. Life has seasons, and you are in a season of waiting. Keep faith.
Kunle, sitting silently beside Kola, finally breaks his silence. His voice trembles with contained frustration, voicing his fears.
What if it's not just about waiting? What if something more is happening?
Chief Abimbola raises his hand, gently silencing the rising tension.
Do not succumb to thoughts of curses or invisible foes. These are merely distractions. Your strength should be for your family. Stand strong, and your patience will be rewarded.
Femi, skeptical yet respectful, remains silent. His disbelief is clear, but he chooses not to argue with his father. Meanwhile, Ayo, the youngest, watches the scene with growing concern, knowing his fiancée Kemi shares these unspoken worries. Ayo, almost whispering to himself, questions the limits of patience.
How much can a man endure before it consumes him? His father, overhearing, offers a firm yet gentle response.
Patience is not weakness, my dear children. It's a profound strength. In waiting, you find endurance, faith, and sustaining love. Do not let impatience unravel what you've built. Children will come in their time. Cherish the family you have now.
The brothers exchange uncertain glances, caught between comfort and suspicion. Unaware of the irony in their father's advice, they ponder the unseen barriers to their parenthood. Chief Abimbola, hiding his true motives, masks his intentions with fatherly wisdom.
Be patient, my children, the season of waiting will end, and laughter will fill your homes.
His words echo with a poignant truth only he understands. As the sun fades, the brothers remain in uneasy silence. Their father's words linger, a heavy presence in the night air. Unknown to them, the man who advises patience is the very one who perpetuates their endless wait. Inside Kola's house, the wives sit together later that week. Bisi, Kola's wife, is wiping away tears as she talks to the others. Bisi says to the other women,
I don't know how much more I can take. Kola loves me, but I see the disappointment in his eyes every day. How long before he leaves me? What good am I to him without a child? Thank God we have an understanding father-in-law. Otherwise it would have been hell for us all. We live in all this affluence and comfort, and yet we do not have real happiness.
Shaking her head, Toby responds,
You're not alone. My husband doesn't say it, but I know he's hurting too. We've done everything, prayed, fasted, even seen herbalist. But it feels like something is stopping us. I've heard people whispering. They say it could be a curse, that someone doesn't want us to have children. But why? Why would anyone do this to us?
The family all live in Chief Abimbola's big compound. The entire compound built with 5 buildings, one for Chief Abimbola and the other 4 for each of his sons. Chief Abimbola steps into Kola's house. Overhearing the conversation, he tells them in a gentle but firm voice,
My daughters, I understand your pain. I want you to know that I am with you in this. Be patient with your husbands. Children are a gift from God, and in His time, you will be blessed. Do not lose hope.
His words seem comforting, but there's something cold in his eyes that the women don't quite notice. The morning after Chief Abimbola's conversation with his daughters-in-law, he returns to the house with a surprise. The women are gathered, still heavy with the weight of their struggles, when he calls them together. Behind him stands 2 market women, their arms laden with beautiful wrappers and colorful beads. He gestures to the woman, who steps forward, showing the vibrant patterned wrappers and the shining beads draped over her arms.
My daughters, I know things have been difficult for you, and for that, I am truly sorry. But today, I want you to leave those worries behind, even if just for a moment. Let me buy you something to lift your spirits. There is no better medicine than a little joy.
The women are surprised. Their father-in-law often known to buy them expensive things, but they were not expecting this at this time. The wives exchange hesitant glances, unsure of how to respond. His words seem kind, but after years of childlessness and increasing tension, it feels odd. BC is the first to speak, her voice cautious.
Thank you, Father, but we don't need to buy us more things. You've done enough for us already. You have been kind and generous to us all these years.
Nonsense, my dear. A father's duty is to provide for his children, especially in times like this. Go on, pick something that pleases you. Today, we forget the worries of yesterday.
The other wives remain quiet, unsure of what to make of the gesture, but the vibrant colors of the wrappers catch their eyes. The market woman holds up a particularly beautiful piece, bold, bright, and intricately designed. The women, not wanting to appear ungrateful, started to make their selections of the beautiful items. They thanked him for their beautiful items. Chief Abimbola smiles, his face warm and kind, though there is something in his eyes that feels off, a flicker of control, of something unspoken. He said,
My daughters, remember this, no matter what happens, you are cherished. Do not let your hearts be troubled. Joy will find you again soon.
BC, however, remains quiet, watching her sisters-in-law as they reluctantly accept the gifts. She picks up a deep blue wrapper, her fingers brushing the delicate fabric, but the unease doesn't leave her. Something about this sudden generosity feels forced, as if Chief Abimbola is trying too hard to distract them from their pain. For the other women, Chief Abimbola's act of kindness, though outwardly generous, does little to soothe the deeper unease that has been growing within them. The women are momentarily happy with their gifts. Weeks pass, and the brothers grow more desperate. One by one, they begin visiting different pastors and prophets, seeking spiritual answers. One evening after returning from church, Kola calls his brothers together.
I spoke with the pastor today. He said something strange. He said our family is under spiritual attack. He said the problem isn't from outside, it's within our own family.
Kola opens his mouth in surprise. He nods slowly, saying,
My pastor said the same thing last week. He told me to be careful, that the enemy is closer than we think. What could that even mean? Who would do this to us?
Femi crossing his arms, skeptical.
Oh, come on. This is getting ridiculous. You're going to tell me someone in our own family cursed us? We need to stop wasting time with these pastors.
Quietly, Aya said.
I had a dream last night. It was about Father. In the dream, he was sitting in a dark room, chanting over something. There were faces, women's faces, our wives. But they couldn't move forward. It was like something was holding them back.
The brothers exchange uneasy glances, but none of them dare to speak the thoughts now growing in their minds. They do not want to consider the possibility of their father being responsible for their predicament. After all, what would he stand to gain? He valued his great name and would want his lineage to continue. Could it a jealous extended family member, maybe a cousin, an aunt or uncle? How close could this person be to them? The thoughts begin to swirl, but none of them are willing to say it aloud just yet. Kola said to them all,
We can't ignore this any longer. If the pastors are saying the same thing, maybe we need to face it head on. I think we should go to Pastor Adewale together. All of us. Maybe he can help us understand what's happening. Yes. If we go as a family, perhaps we can get clearer answers. We can't keep guessing. Something is clearly wrong.
They all agree to see a pastor together. Ayo is particularly haunted by the image from his dream. The brothers, though divided in their beliefs, agree to meet with Pastor Adewale together, in the hopes of finally getting to the bottom of their problem. The following day, the brothers set off to see Pastor Adewale. The tension is high, as each of them is unsure of what answers they will receive. Pastor Adewale welcomes them, sensing the burden they carry, and prepares to lead them into a prayer of revelation.